Who's ready for more Star Wars Rebels?
We are.
Cheers.
Clink, 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 clink,
Boink. So mine says, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Mom, who do you have?
Angry Bird.
And I have some pretty birds.
Edward Elric. Yeah. Yes, you do. I see a bird with a bird cage with flowers all over it. It's so pretty.
Yes.
So we're ready to watch more Rebels.
Mm-hmm, we are.
Yes.
We are on episode 15 of season 3. We're not looking at the thumbnail or title, but last episode was called Warhead. And Zeb was in charge of the base, and he did very well, though. We've seen him on many missions, and he thought it was going to be boring, right?
Was like,
and oh,
this is
challenge.
Orville.
It sure wasn't boring.
No,
but they all work together.
Yeah.
I really like AP5 now. I know, like, when we first met him, I made fun of his voice a little bit, and I'm like, he reminds us of Snape, you know? Although I loved him, too, in Harry Potter. But he really is an amazing help. Like, he is a good friend, a good ally to have. And he's pretty funny, too, when he's with Chopper. Their banter is hilarious.
Oh, yeah, they can all contribute something. And he's so smart. I love that guy.
Me too. And Zeb was able to come up with a drastic plan that AP5 said probably wasn't going to work, and it did. He was impressed, right?
It did. And boy, did it ever.
Yeah, because they had no choice at that point. I mean, that was crazy. What a cool plan to not only deactivate and freeze when Chopper froze the bomb inside that droid, but to send it back to the ship.
There you go, slingshot.
And kind of time it to make it thaw out right in time. That was crazy. So shall we get into this episode?
Yes, let's do it.
Unfortunately, they didn't have any evidence for the Senate, but...
Yeah, they didn't.
Right?
Yeah, they didn't. But they said it was enough to inspire people to join their cause. Yeah, so that's good.
A little bit at a time.
Yep. And we're watching on Disney Plus today, like we always do. So 3:15.
All right.
A lightsaber.
Not just any lightsaber.
Yeah, the Darksaber.
It can't be.
I didn't know Mandalorians developed a type of lightsaber.
We didn't. Legend tells that it was created over 1,000 years ago by Tar Vizsla. One time, they ruled all of Mandalore wielding this blade.
After we got back from Dathomir, she gave it to me for safekeeping.
Kanan, if Sabine can wield this saber, she can reunite one of the most powerful houses in all of Mandalore.
That's cute.
Can you pay my room, Sabine? Yeah. Oh, that was nice. He's looking affectionate now. We only see like that fresh side of his.
Maul used it to divide and conquer our people. You can wield it to do the opposite.
Wield it?
Kanan, that doesn't mean she can fight with it. No offense.
Go on.
Now she's gonna take it.
It's taken me a while to learn, and I use the Force.
The combat training is not as important as what that blade represents.
Right. You want me to lead my clan, but I'm not that popular with my family these days. I have a family here. I don't need them.
But we do.
Kara needs to talk, yeah.
If there's a chance that you can rally an army of Mandalorian warriors for our attack on Lothal.
Think about it.
All right, I'll do it.
Wow, yeah.
Give me the saber.
Don't try. Just learn.
Give me a sword. I'm gonna learn how to kick your...
Ooh.
That's huge.
I'll damage you if you don't shut up.
She's so aggressive towards him, but I get it. It's a big responsibility, and
That's right.
And he was kind of insulting.
I thought there'd be more sword fighting involved.
Hey, it's always like this. He was the same with me.
Yeah, and look how well you've turned out.
Are you being serious? Is he being serious?
I want to see your technique.
I already know how to fight with a stick.
She's too stubborn, too.
Yes, she's almost like Ezra when he was young.
It's so cool. He's blind, and he's like... Wow.
Whoa.
You better practice with Ezra first.
All right.
Why?
Ezra.
And no talking.
Boy.
Kanan.
Okay, great. Yes, that's ready position.
Becoming a teacher.
I read you, Hera. I'm being careful.
Were you careful with Ezra? I don't remember him fighting with a stick.
Well, maybe I'm trying to do things differently this time. She's so expressive and yet so tightly wound. She's so...
Mandalorian.
Ugh,
Frustrating.
I'll be sending out supplies.
Stubborn.
That's not gonna work.
Working so far.
I think you're doing well.
Opinion noted.
I've got your supplies.
Ezra, help unload these supplies.
What?
You know.
You gotta read the room.
Grappling knife, paralyzing darts, repulsor. Go take Bridget down a peg or two.
Maybe I won't go easy on you this time.
Yeah, he's a bit cocky. Ooh. And now you're deaf.
Hey!
Nice. Ooh. When he actually uses saber.
They won't keep you alive in the long run. Only training and discipline will do that.
Whoa.
That's so true. She just doesn't think she can do it.
Is she gonna see Bendu?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say I know what it's like. Believe me, Kanan's not the easiest teacher to have, but he means well.
Does he? I'm a disgrace to them, Ezra. A traitor.
But that's not true.
To them, it is. You don't know. How can I lead my people? How can I go back there and face them?
At least you have parents to go back to.
Yeah, it's hard. You never see her open up like that. Hey! And that is Bendu.
Ezra was eager to learn. Sometimes too eager. I was the one who was holding back. But she can't or won't find balance within herself. Until she does, wielding an actual lightsaber is far too dangerous for her.
Her family hurt her more than any sword could. You don't see it because she doesn't want you to. Because I know what it's like when people you love don't believe in you. Give her the sword. Let her own it and who she is. This isn't about you.
It's great to have that talk, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
She's back.
I owe you an apology.
I can say the same. Maybe I should practice more first.
Take it. It's yours. You're not fighting with a simple blade as much as you are directing a current of power.
I like
your
that effect.
thoughts, your actions, they become energy. Block high. There's pull. Can you feel it? High. Low. Middle.
It's so dangerous.
Oh no, I thought you said hi.
Work on a series.
So, well, you learn.
We'll start slow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're making it easy on me.
The blade feels lighter.
You're connecting with it. It's becoming a part of you.
Wow.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
You should quit.
I don't quit. I never quit.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Really? That's not what it looks like.
Lies!
So what's the truth?
I left to save everyone. I built weapons. Terrible weapons! But the Empire used them on Mandalore. They controlled us through fear. I spoke out to save them. To save everyone!
Wow. Don't lose yourself.
When I did, the Empire wanted to destroy worlds. And they did. They destroyed mine. Why would they follow me?
I know this might not be what you want to hear, but for what it's worth, I would follow you.
Oh, God.
This family will stand by you no matter what you choose.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
it's
so good to
good.
say.
Oh, good.
Kanan's a great teacher.
Yeah,
He
he's
sure is,
wonderful.
yeah. Very good. My gosh.
That was perfect.
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
it?
Yeah, it was.
Hera was great too,
Perfect.
like
Yeah.
her talking to Kanan about that and how it was different from Ezra. I mean, there were so many great things about this episode alone because here, like, Sabine is an amazing character. She's a crazy, wonderful warrior. You know, we've seen her fight blasters and, you know, different kinds of weapons. And, you know, her actually opening up and showing, like, weak emotion or just, I won't say weak, but, you know, actual, like, you know, crying and hurt. Like, she never shows that.
She had to get that out.
Out,
She
yes.
had to. She was
had to
never
release
going
it.
to be herself doing this. She couldn't be a leader if she didn't get that out. And Kanan knew that.
Yeah.
And it was through Hera, exactly, that it opened his mind, too. That he
That's
needs
good.
to give her the Darksaber, and she's got to get that out of her system.
Yeah,
And get
I
it out.
really enjoy Kanan's teachings because he is very wise, and it still amazes me, and it's sad too, but I'm so happy he's still able to be so skilled, and even more
sure
so
is.
now that he
Yeah.
doesn't have the sense of sight, that he can actually still predict and feel what's around him. And going against Sabine, like, that kind of worried me at first because I know she's a really good fighter, and she gets really aggressive with her emotions because she's so guarded. I thought she was going to lose herself early on and hurt Kanan, but he was always ahead of her, and seeing them go against each other, I was just impressed on how much better Kanan was at that kind of fighting style. But as he said to Hera, that Sabine might be actually, like, more powerful than Ezra in different ways. So now that she's accepting and learning the saber, you know, she might even be more powerful than them in the long run. But it was a very good episode.
It was
Very good.
fantastic, and I love how the Darksaber becomes part of her, an extension of her, and it became lighter and it was more fluent, and so she's learning how to use it, and she had to wield it, because if she didn't, she can't use a stick. You know, it was more for Kanan not to have her get hurt, but like Hera said, she had to have that.
She had to own it.
Yeah, and he knew that she was blocking her emotions, and it was causing her to misjudge things and, you know, not properly fight the way that he was trying to train her. So to actually give her the power and to kind of, I guess in a way, not respect, but to give her that faith that, yes, you can do this, and make it more serious, that she has to own it and learn from it directly, and not that, okay, well, you're training and, you know, you still have to learn a lot. So, you know, we have to do it this way. You know, so I'm happy that instead of the sticks that, you know, he did listen to Hera there. But their fighting styles together was just incredible. And I love seeing Ezra, you know, training her. Like, he does get cocky now and again. I thought he was going to be worse with that and be too confident to show off or something. But no, he was good, and he leveled with her, and he really stuck to the training over a couple days. And she was learning from him. I know it was slow, but that was her own stubbornness too,
yeah,
probably.
she just had that block, that Mandalorian
stubbornness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Ezra knew that once he was, you know, asked to train her and show her the basic steps, he just took control of it, and it was great. And when she came back, you know, at night after we saw Bendu was there, I was wondering if he had anything to do with it, or he was just observing what she was going through. I don't know if that was, but she didn't mention him. But you know, why would she? Maybe he had a talk with her. But it really didn't open up until she was fighting with Kanan.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it was all Kanan.
Yeah.
It was neat to see Bendu. I'm assuming if this continues on, which I hope it does, this was a really good story. I think Sabine's an amazing character. Tangent really quick, and I want to know more about her, and to see this open side of her crying, like, my heart broke, and I just felt for her there. Like, really good voice acting. The animation was great, and, you know, to actually see that side of her, I was like, oh wow, you know, I wanted to know more there. And Kanan, you know, Kanan and Hera, how long have they been with her? And they don't even know that story. So for that to open up, and now to rewind back to Bendu, I like how subtle that was, where he kind of felt her disconnect with the Force, because everyone is connected to the Force. It's not just Jedi, but they are more in tune to it, right? And they get to, but they can use that power to wield a lightsaber in a more unique, talented way, because they can predict things, and you become one with your lightsaber anyways. Like, you have your own kyber crystal that you have to find. We've seen that,
right.
And every lightsaber, it's like, this is your weapon. This is your life, kind of thing. It protects you, and but even someone who isn't a Force wielder like Sabine, you are still in tune with the Force in a way, or you can train yourself to be. So she's becoming one with the Darksaber, which is such a really cool idea. It's becoming lighter for her the more she learns it.
That's great.
Yes.
My God.
And she probably didn't think she was, worthy of this, artifact. I mean, really, it's just an ancient weapon that she just didn't think originally that she was, worthy of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And even though she's afraid too, I mean, she feels like she dishonored her family, and that was a tragic story that she told. But it's even better to see, I think, to become a leader, to be, I want to say, modest, or just not want that kind of power. Like, I think it's beyond you, because it shows that, you're not looking for power,
Just
which
for
is
the
a
power,
huge asset to have, because you don't want to be power hungry or anything. And she, I think, would be a great leader. Now, I do have to ask the question, though. I'm sure a lot of fans asked this during the Mandalorian series. What happened with the lightsaber? How did Moff Gideon get it? Remember, he had the Darksaber at that point. So maybe we'll learn on here. Maybe he'll be a character in this. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't just in the Mandalorian. The series.
That would be very interesting to
That
see how that transpired.
And we already know this, but I heard rumors that Sabine, before in season 2 of The Mandalorian, that she might appear in that. So we saw Bo-Katan, and I'm like, well, maybe that's Sabine. I kept saying, like, the other person's probably Sabine. I remember saying that during our reaction, not knowing anything from Rebels. I used to play Disney Infinity. A lot of you probably know that, because I used to talk about it a lot when we first started watching the series, and I think the Clone Wars. But yeah, I'm hoping she's still alive, because I just assumed that she was going to appear in The Mandalorian, because I heard fans talk about that. So I was like, ooh, that'd be so cool. So hopefully she wasn't killed. I'll be so upset if Gideon killed her.
To get it.
To get it, So I want to know more about that.
Well, if she has to go back to her, to Mandalore, and, go to the Mandalorians, go to her family now, I mean, there might be some trouble before, it settles down. She has to tell them her side of the story. And if she says it with compassion, like she just did, and with with passion, like she just did with Kanan, it might get her point across of what she did for her family.
That's right.
Yeah, so I hope this continues on. I'm sure it will. I don't know if it'll be a back-to-back kind of thing for next episode, but I hope we see more of that soon. And to mention Rao, like, I love seeing him like this. And, not only did he take their side, but he is very compassionate and open-minded about the whole thing, where he's not greedy and like, oh, you got the Darksaber.
Right. He didn't. He responded very well. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah.
He didn't. He was. And he respects it, and that's why...
Yeah, that's what I like hearing the story, and how they greatly respect it. It's not just House Vizsla, but it's all Mandalorians that really appreciate, or not appreciate, but respect it. So for him to be like, oh, well, and how it's still, in tune with the Force, or it's like almost faded. Like Kanan even saying, oh, well, things just don't happen for... random, like they happen for a reason. So for her to come across the Darksaber and take it, that was meant to be, kind of thing. So that's always fun to to make that a thing, and it's not always about the Jedi being faded, but the Force is around everyone, is connected to everyone, so it's kind of fun to see. So hopefully she'll do it.
And I liked the gift he gave her, but it gave her a false sense of protection, as Kanan showed her. Using that electric lasso of swords. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was nothing to the Jedi. He cut it right in half. So
yeah.
that was good to see that.
That was good. And in that moment, I was kind of like, oh God, with Kanan, because I was like, okay, is he taking it too personally now? Because he's done that before. But yeah, you're right. Because, you know, Sabine, she gets so stubborn in her own way, and then she gets cocky because she tricked him, but she's not really playing. I mean, in any kind of fight, you're not going to play fair anyways, but he's like, you can't just hope that works. Like, you have to really know, like, how to do this skill, and, you know, he really just got upset at her. Like, you can't just, like, you know, assume that this is going to work. Like, you know, so it was just kind of neat how, not neat, but it was good how he expressed that. And at first I was like, oh God, is he really just taking it too personal? Or, but no, she needed to hear that. And just to see the danger of him putting his saber so close to her. And then even her losing control and getting more powerful because she's letting out the hurt and all the things she kept bottled inside of her out. Like, she needed to do that to free her mind, you know? So she was making her stronger to the point where Kanan was being taken over, you know?
Yeah, and I did like how she used that lasso to get her Darksaber back. Like that,
like the Force.
That is
kind of like a Jedi.
Yes, it was very. That is a helpful tool to use that for.
So in a way, she learned from Kanan, where, you know, instead of using that. Instead of your saber, you know, you can use that to help retrieve it or something, or do something else instead of just attack your opponent with it. I don't know. Like, I know it will come in handy no matter what, but she has to learn the technique with the sword first. But that was awesome. Yeah, because that was totally like what Ezra or Kanan would do if they lost their saber. They would use the Force to bring it back. So it was kind of fun to see that. So really good episode. I mean, I enjoyed the series a lot, but like episodes like this, really learning about the characters really is amazing to me. Like, I think
it is, because
I'm always intrigued and want to know more about them. And Sabine is a very interesting character because we know very little about her.
Yes, and Hera, you know, who knows more about family and, you know, distrusting people than Hera. And it was great to have Hera's voice to Kanan and a little bit to Sabine in the beginning too. Like, you know, be open to this. Maybe, you know, you should do this task. You should be the leader. It was good to hear her points of view too.
I agree.
That's right.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Whew. So until next time, guys, can't wait to watch the next one. Hopefully we'll see more about Sabine's family, because I know that will hopefully continue on.
I hope so.
But we'll see if it's going to be next episode or not, or if Bendu is even going to talk to her. I kind of thought that he might, or maybe it's just a subtle, he felt her disconnect, and that's what he looked, because, you know, she was sitting on him, and maybe drawn to him too, and that's why she was there. Maybe.
Maybe.
So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon as always. Bye guys!